Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and today we're looking at the Vanbanner Adroit GMT. Model number for this one with the blue dial is VBAD212, and the price at the time of recording is right around $295. These watches shipped from Canada, and they're priced in Canadian, so the price may vary based on the conversion. Speaking of the price, I did not pay for this watch. It was provided for the video. As the thumbnail says, this is the best automatic GMT under $300. Perhaps the only automatic GMT under $300. If you know of another one, please put it down in the comment section. I'd like to check it out. So this watch offers a lot of features, a lot of value for the money, especially if you're looking for a GMT watch, an automatic GMT more specifically. This is powered by the Seiko NH34 movement. We have a bidirectional 48-click bezel, so it clicks, unlike the Seiko 5 version with the same movement in it, the Seiko 5 GMT. I had one of those. I ended up giving it away about a year ago. My biggest complaint with that Seiko is that it just had a friction bezel, so this is a very nice upgrade. Bezels like this should click. We also do have a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating applied to the underside of the crystal. It is a flat crystal, which I really appreciate. I much prefer flat crystals now. Earlier in my collecting, I liked the dome crystals because they look a little more cool, but these are a lot more legible. And speaking of legibility, the white hands, the white indices really pop against this blue dial, and we have that kind of looks like an orange second hand, but it's listed as red on the website. I would say more of a neon red. So that second hand, the lume pip there, and then the GMT tip of the GMT hand all have that same color. I think it works very well with this blue dial. They also offer this watch with a black dial. We can see that is a sand textured dial. It is a sandwich dial, meaning the indices are cut out on the dial, and then there's lume on the underside, or a plate of lume underneath the dial. And that is a gradient color there, gradient blue. It's lighter in the middle and gets dark as you get out to the perimeter of the dial. So very cool looking watch, very cool looking dial. And this finish looks like a sandblasted finish to me. It's not, it doesn't look brushed. And you can see the bracelet has it as well. And then we do have a polished chamfered edge. We have drilled lugs. This watch should be a strap monster. I may do a strap show here in the future. Let me know if you're interested in seeing that. I have a bunch of 20mm straps I could throw on this for sure. So we have a 316L stainless steel bezel. And the black on here is supposed to be black lume. I have not checked out the lume yet, so we'll view that together at the end of the video. And of course you have the lume pip there. The hands, all four hands, have lume applied, and the indices as well. That is C3 lume. The case, of course, is 316L stainless steel. So is the bracelet. And these are solid end links. You can see that with the lighting there. We do have solid end links, and we do have quick release pins. We have solid links. They are held in place with screw pins. As you can see, this is a butterfly clasp. Usually not a fan of butterfly clasp, but with this watch, they offer these two of these 1.5 link links right here, which I do have them both on for my 6.5 inch wrist. So it wears comfortably on wrist. That's definitely something that you need with a butterfly clasp, is either half link or 1.5 link. You need some way of being able to fine tune this, and they have offered that here. So let me open one of these quick release pins and then take a closer look at the movement. Again, as I mentioned, this is a Seiko NH34 movement. This does have a custom rotor to it. No decoration, really. maybe a little bit on that rotor, but really no decoration. I know some folks don't really care to see a non-decorated movement. Now, when I first started getting into the watches, if it has automatic movement, I've always said I wanted to see it, but I'm starting to see their viewpoint now. If it's not decorated, maybe I don't really need to see it. But you do have that on here. And one benefit to having just a metal case back is it'll be a little bit thinner. But this watch is fairly thin, actually. It's 13.1 millimeter, which, if you know Seikos, that's a fairly thin case there for a Seiko watch. So let me see if I can get this back on. You know what? I'll pause the video and I'll put this back on. One thing I may not have mentioned is we do have this engraving here on the side of the case. That's take it or leave it for me. I don't mind it. I don't desire it, so I'm fine with it either way. And we do have a push-pull signed crown. That's a nice engraving on the crown there. So I actually prefer a push-pull crown. I've not really had a crown pop out on me before, and it just makes it easier to hand wind it. Then you can pop it out to change the date or move the GMT hand. So right now I could potentially be in the danger zone, so let's move the handset rearward. Let's put it at 6 o'clock. So you can see when I pull the crown all the way out, the second hand has stopped. So that's hacking, and then also hand winding is another feature I mentioned. And this watch has a sweep or a beat rate of 6 beats per second. Smoother watches would have a beat rate of 8 beats per second, and we have a 41-hour power reserve. So let's pull the crown out to the second position. So this will be the date changed and also moving the GMT hand. So right there, I'm moving the GMT hand. And if I turn the crown the opposite direction, it will change the date. So let's move the GMT hand back to 6 o'clock. Right there. Actually, we can pull the crown all the way out and move it back to 10:10. I like how the word automatic has a curve to it. Kind of reminds me of the smile dials on the Tudors. All right, let's talk about the dimensions, and then I'll get this on wrist, and then we'll check out the loom. So 46.7 lug to lug. Nice, fairly nice compact lug to lug there. 40 millimeter case diameter. And the bezel is flush with the side of the case. It doesn't overhang, and it's not sub-flush either, so just flush with the edge of the case. As I mentioned, 13.1 millimeter thick. And I'll show this next to my SKX in a moment. 20 millimeter lug width, and it does taper down to 18. It tapers down pretty quickly. Actually, I think all the taper is probably right there in that first link. And these are, yeah, I would say that's a female end link. It doesn't overhang. The center links here do not overhang. And it's kind of a, I guess I would call it like a double H-link bracelet. Not a very common bracelet style, which I do appreciate. It's something different. And here is my SKX for comparison, size comparison. The SKX is about a 42 millimeter watch, 41 on the bezel, so the bezel is sub-flush. In other words, the case sticks out farther than the bezel. And lug to lug is very similar on these. And then here's a look at the thickness. So the SKX is about a 0.5 millimeter thicker, but it doesn't appear that way just based on the slab-sidedness of the Vanbanner case. All right, let's get this on wrist. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. It really does help me out here. So I think it looks good on my 6.5 inch wrist. If you have a smaller wrist than me, I think you could still pull it off as well. You can still size the bracelet accordingly. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this watch. looking forward to checking out the Lume compared to the SKX. And we will do that right now. So the Vanbanner is on the left, and the Lume on the bezel, the numbers is brighter than I was expecting. It's not as bright as what I see on the screen looking at it by eye, but it's still there. It has kind of died out a bit. The hands, I would say, are brighter on the Vanbanner, and the indices are probably about the same as the SKX. The Lume surface area is a little bit smaller on the indices on the Vanbanner, but very comparable to the SKX. And if you're ever somewhere under black lights, this watch looks very cool under a black light, which I will demonstrate right now. That fluorescent red color is very cool looking. Well, that will conclude this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. As always, thank you for your time and thank you for watching.